What are my opinions on HP sauce? I've never had it. My understanding is that it tastes not dissimilar to A1, in which case, like, pretty lukewarm on it. But if that characterization that I've been given is incorrect, then I really have no opinion. Made some lemon pancakes this morning. That sounds really good. A1 is very different from HP sauce. Okay. Yo, Nene, how's it going? HP sauce is just printer ink. Well, in that case, I do have an opinion. It's way too expensive. No, you absolutely may not time somebody out for speaking the truth. We've seen through it. We've solved the riddle. HP sauce is just printer ink. Brown printer ink. That's right. Doc Lead, how's it going? But yeah, to answer the question, I don't have an opinion because I've never had it. Right. Everything about the run was cursed yesterday, so we're definitely not doing an Uematsu run. Sakaguchi? I've got enough time for 2 runs today, so probably Sakaguchi's good just so that we can get underway, right? Let's do that. And you think that this is all a big misunderstanding. It's actually HP source, which implies PA risk and HP UX. Okay, so this is another one of those differences where British English and American English just have differences in roticity. And as a result, we've thought that you were talking about like a foodstuff. But in reality, you've been talking about source code the whole time. You speak Canadian? Move to Montreal and say that. Stand corrected. You do speak Canadian. Nikki, thank you for the good luck. Big No-No, thank you also for the good luck. What is the new magic? Stick around and find out. If you don't know what's about to happen, yeah, if you don't know what's about to happen in about an hour and let's say 40 minutes, does Smite know that I'm killing innocent snails? Yeah, he's got an entire remote for it. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you helping me out by sharing Smite's emote dedicated to the memory of the innocent whelk who tries to viciously attack our intrepid hero and also the two Empire soldiers. Pit actually runs on snail blood? That's a common misconception, but it's not true. The arcade pit has been funneling energy from Snailvos living underground, feeding off of our planet's energy since time immemorial. Do snails have blood? I assume so. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. Do snails have a soul? Yeah. Okay, they do have hearts and they do have blood. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel as confident that snails have souls as I do that anything has a soul. That said, snails really need to keep the fuck out of my garden. Torkasi, good afternoon. Yeah, it's just after dinner time here. Perfect time to tame the new magic. Go to space and get a PB. Your soul isn't yours. Legally, you signed a contract with a horned gentleman. Oh, you met Luke. Important to set up a snail trap. I seem to have inadvertently created a very delicious part of the garden and a less delicious part of the garden. And the very delicious part of the garden, luckily, is please, thank you. The delicious part of the garden is not where I'm growing any of my food. So I'm hesitant to change things up too much at this point. Do snails like chilies? I have no idea. So far, they've left them alone. Snails hate salt? Yeah, so do the rest of the plants in my garden. That's a bad solution. Salt the earth, what could possibly go wrong? Compelling argument. Bad Wolf Girl, welcome in. Yeah, you can just skip all those battles. You don't have to fight anybody. Welcome to Final Fantasy VI speedrunning. Since I gather you haven't seen any Final Fantasy VI speedruns yet, buckle in. Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know what's going on, Eddie, who is a Japanese tasser, found a bunch of really cool stuff recently. And Nirm, who is immeasurably talented, has managed to make a new route out of it. So, legally, I have finished 2 runs with the route. None of them have been runs where nothing went wrong. So hopefully this will be the first run where nothing goes wrong and the route just completes as designed. Rude. Kefka at Narsh is a gateway drug. For a couple of the routes, Kefka at Narsh is honestly the hardest thing that you do in the entire, like, the full game run. Leggy, thank you very much for the good luck. I'm gonna do my best. But yeah, so since we've got some people in chat who are completely green to Final Fantasy VI speedrunning, a couple of things just to go over, like what you're going to be seeing. You'll notice that in my PB, which is the video playing in the lower left, I get into encounters roughly in the same spot that I get into them on the run. There's going to be a divergence point, but for the most part, same spot. So this run is manipulated. I do know where I'm going to be getting into encounters, assuming that I don't ever mess up my movement. Likewise, you're going to see points, well, at this point, there's really only one point where I'll be resetting the game. That is also manipulation, both for NPC movement and for encounter manipulation. So there, I delayed before leaving the room, while both the girl above me and I stared at the wall for a couple seconds. That manipulates the Chancellor right here to not walk in front of me, instead he stays to the right. So lots of little things like that tend to add up in this run. And then there's going to be some big things that, well, you'll see them when they happen. Super low profile, how's it going? I'm doing okay. I've got just like the tiniest bit of a headache. I've taken a ibuprofen. I'm having a glass of coffee. And hopefully I'm going to get a new PB right now. Not to be that guy, but did I say a glass of coffee? Yeah, I have a double-walled glass that I did a pour over into. I did pour over today is the espresso machine saga ongoing. Down. I don't want to think about it. Yes, it is very much ongoing. My espresso machine is currently in repair, theoretically. You have a small double-walled glass tea set for travel that you really like. I can't... the glasses that I have are really fragile. I can't imagine traveling with them and feeling safe. Like, I would be so afraid of ending up with some amount of the things that I was traveling with having small glass shards embedded in them. They live in a sturdy case. Fair enough. You're a basic K-Cup enjoyer here? I mean, enjoy what you enjoy. I think that Nestle has started making it so that you can at least recycle K-Cups, which is still, you know, not optimal in terms of waste, but it's a really good first step. And if you have one of the older machines where you can use a refillable K-Cup, like in terms of the coffee that they produce, I don't tend to love it, but again, as long as you're enjoying it, that's what's important. Nespresso is good coffee? I mean, I have yet to meet any of those convenience coffees that uses a roast that I enjoy. I am snobbish enough that I will not drink coffee in lieu of drinking coffee that I don't like. You drink decaf? I have strong feelings about decaf. I think that it's a shame that the coffee industry, for the most part, has decided that it's fine to just give worse coffee to everybody who drinks decaf. Best decaf is made by local roasters. Yeah, that seems to universally be true. But even there, a lot of roasters will, because they are trying to meet the same price point, they'll give you worse coffee. Decaf could taste as good as normal caffeine-containing coffee. But it would be a little bit more expensive, so roasters just don't bother. You'd pay extra? I would love to pay extra for coffee that tastes like the coffee that I drink during, you know, the morning and you know, up until about 6, 7 p.m. I would love to have coffee that tastes that good but has no caffeine in it. So things that I cannot manipulate. damage rolls, starting ATB, including whether I'm in a preemptive, pincer, side attack, back attack. That's all dependent on the global frame count. But where I get into these fights, which enemies I'm going to be fighting, I already know that ahead of time. And yeah, so for anybody who's not super familiar with Final Fantasy VI speedrunning, if something's not obvious, definitely ask. If somebody in chat's not able to answer the question, I definitely will. I hate this. Why do I hate these little guys? Because they're good XP and GP. And Terra needed a new pair of shoes. Ruby, how's it going? Just leave. Just walk away. I should really heal. Okay, fine. I'm scared enough now. Losing time. Nene, you're watching it. Paint touch. It'll be clear. Come on, please, please, please give me a couple of preemptives. At least let me have preemptives for the fights I can run from. Nope, too much to ask for. We were wondering which enemies are most difficult to run away from. There's a lot of things that factor into that. Didn't mean to hit it twice. That's fine. Some enemies, like what are the eels called? Anyway, some enemies are flagged to be the equivalent of 3 enemies, which makes them harder to run from. Yeah, it's Angua something. Is it Anguiform? I think that's right. I should know that. But yeah, each of those counts as 3 enemies, and the more enemies that you're running away from, the harder it is to run from. And then there's party level, and there's a base difficulty, and so on. It is Anguiform. All right. Shiva is the most difficult to run from. I mean, yeah, Shiva, like every boss, is flagged as a boss, so you can't run from them. Wait. Ferk is a PRNG that uses the global frame counter? Ferk, is that true? You said it on the internet, it must be true? I can't really argue with that logic. Ferk says it stands to reason. I mean, yeah, fair enough. tempted to pick up that potion. Good news and bad news. Good news is you scrape the skin off your elbow, so the PC maintenance is going to be successful. Yeah, that makes sense. That's the blood sacrifice, which is required. Bad news is that some monsters got greasy fingerprints on your shiny new monitor? Unacceptable. Who would do such a thing? Bannon likes to moonwalk. It's true. So here, each time that I see the load screen, the initial PRNG seed increments. So that added 1 to it. And each time that you load in, it adds another 13. So in total, the initial seed has been advanced by 15 by doing that. In a mix of letting that NPC move around like that, and that increase by 15 puts us in a position where we're only going to get 2 fights on the entire Elite River. This one, and one right after we go to the left. Full shades. We'll be setting a shoe on the controller and doing an overnight grind. Yeah, that's how speedrunning works. Alright, so I am exactly 1 leet segment behind. That's not too bad. My PB gets a Riot Blade, so I'm a little bit further behind than that, unless I get really lucky, but all in all, we're doing okay. I love this game. Etath, how's it going? Chilling on a Sunday? Doesn't get too much better than that. Just leave. Just walk away. There we go. By the way, basic Final Fantasy VI question inspired by the leveling overnight thing. Is it true that you actually gain the most stats only if an Esper is equipped? Yep. Yes, asterisk. Espers are going to have stat bonuses that are associating with having them equipped. So, for example, Maduin gives you either +1 or +2 magic. So your magic stat increases more than it would have otherwise. So from a pure maximalization standpoint, it absolutely works to your benefit to keep your levels as low as possible until as late in the game as possible when you have the largest collection of espers that you could use to... Nice, got a black belt. You can use to make sure that you build your team as optimally as you can. That said, you're going to have maxed out the damage of whatever attack you're using long before you hit 99, even without espers equipped. So it's a bonus that's useful if you aren't trying to maximize, and then it's overkill if you are maximizing. Final Fantasy VI is not a game that needs optimization. No, this is definitely a game that you can play casually, and it's not going to throw too many problems at you as long as you're not, you know, being a dummy and running away from every single fight like I am. Does that mean that leveling isn't that important to the run, since damage bonus caps out early if you understand correctly? So when I talk about early, I'm talking way, way, way north of any levels that you're going to see here. I'm going to be finishing the run with everybody south of 20. In fact, I am now thinking there are fights that you're going to see me taking on purpose. But we are at a point where any fight after camp cutscene is done, any fight that I kill the enemies will not be giving me experience unless it's a fight where I don't have the choice. I might be in like a pincer or something like that, or I might be in a case where it's faster to kill the enemies. So that's a case-by-case thing, but I'm not going to be leveling any of the characters that I have at this point. Not on purpose, anyway. That's unfortunate. Good dog? Good dog. Should probably heal Shadow, though. So, minor time loss coming. Yeah, we're going to be finishing the game with a non-standard strategy. Non-standard's a very mild way of putting it. I can't think of any other way to word it. That's true. If you only watch speedruns of this game, then as far as you're aware, there is no other strategy. It is the standard strategy. All right, so it looks like I'm a little bit closer than I am because I need to heal Shadow. Only strategy you know is the 52 game overs. I wish that that was a more fun run to do or watch, because it's a really neat glitch. And good thing I picked up that extra potion. Nikki, have you seen the new stuff yet? I've just kind of assumed that you had. You don't think so? Well, you might notice that right after Kefka at Narsh, Gao gets stronger on the Velt. It's good. Take your turn. Cyan. Okay, cool. That guarantees that Aurabolt kills, so that's nice. Alright, so we run up at 14. We're about 5 seconds behind, so that's not the worst. Yeah, up until Kefka at Narsh, there's not that much that we're gonna do that's obviously broken. Locke's scenario is obviously broken. But otherwise, lot of almost normal feeling. Why? For what reason did you decide that a back attack was appropriate? Alright, Shadow's sitting on item. You know what? Fair point. It could have been worse. Oh yeah, Kutan is a normal character. That's true. But we do kind of phase through a guard at one point. Like, that's a little bit iffy. So to the person earlier who was asking about run rates, compare that single mob to how long it takes to run from 3. So you've got some extra time, and that was actually an uncommonly fast run. That was nice. So here we want to get a fight on exactly this tile. So it sets up the encounters for the entire rest of the train. That's nice. What determines who sees a phantom train and who doesn't when walking through the forest? I think it's all about how dead you are. Like, I'm pretty sure the implication of this entire segment is that Cyan is supposed to have died from the poison. Yeah, he's either metaphorically or literally dead inside now. Because, yeah, we don't see the train the next time that we come through. Clip through this ghost. Yeah, the Agent Zero, that's about my understanding of it as well. I actually didn't know the internal numbers. But yeah, each character has a run gauge. Bannon and Cyan gain run gauge abysmally slow. You would have expected the points to be based on the character's speed. That makes sense. That is enough indirection that I could imagine alongside all of the other business logic that's going on during battles, that could be the thing that would cost frames. And the last thing that you want to do when you're writing a game to run on the Super Nintendo is to cause lag frames. Cyan and Strago get 1d3, Bannon gets 1d2. Yeah. Mr. Cab, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Complaints about Target's layout go here. I mean, I've only been in a couple of Targets in my life. But the one thing that I know that you can count on is you walk in the door and to your left, there's a Starbucks. And really, is there anything else that's more important than that? Sometimes it's to the right. See, that feels like hostile design to me. You get people expecting to be able to just turn directly to the left and get a cup of coffee, but no. Now it's housewares. Nice. Yeah, I think Cyan is guaranteed to kill at 72. Imagine your partner going for coffee and returning with a Dutch oven. And I guess that's one way of communicating, hey, I want you to bake some sourdough bread, right? Target near you used to have Little Caesars? What? That's wild. Gal, please. Had to make us sweat. Super Retro Heart, how's it going? Is this proper operation of the Final Fantasy III game pack for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System? Absolutely. Zelnu, how's it going? Yeah, it's fair to say that some new stuff has been found. Given block scenario is almost coming up, you're here at a good time to be able to catch it. It's gonna be another probably. Well, you can see, after Gao gets stronger, the wild shit happens. So call it 40 minutes. It's going to be less than 40 at this point. Have we tried going up and down stairs 63 times to win yet? So the way that you trigger a stack... the way that you smash the stack in this game is not by using stairs, amazingly enough. Squaresoft has figured out that stairs should not be used in such a way that you're going to smash the stack. Now you have to game over on the world map 52 times in a row. That's enough to push enough frames onto the stack to smash it. Yeah, there's no wild stair glitch. In 5 either. But you can use a mixture of stealing and throwing items to underflow your item count. So you can use that to get rich by stealing and then selling 1 million ethers. Please tell me 52 game overs isn't on the route. No. So No Sketch also bans the 52 game over glitch. 52 game overs is like 30 something minutes. You trigger that glitch right after Vargas. Technically, you can trigger it as early as Figaro. I don't know if anybody's figured out a non-TAS way to do that yet. I think that it's still post-Vargas that everybody does it. Yeah, stairs are very dangerous in this run. That's true. You've never seen or heard of that one? Yeah, I think just about everybody does like 1 or 2 52 card pickup runs and then realizes that it's neither fun to run nor fun to watch. And so it's kind of the end of that. Dine's run is at Figaro. Makes sense. Yeah, it's super likely to fail. I spent 2 streams straight just trying to replicate the tasks. And I got plenty of crashes, but none of them gave me even remotely useful execution. I hate this. You can run. Just leave. Please leave. Hey, run's not dead yet. Like, I lost time. That's not the run dying. Yeah, it's a very scary pincer. You can have stop cast on you there, which really, really sucks. Cyan, come on, buddy. Yeah, it's a sometimes food for sure. I think it's a very rare sometimes food at that. Extra steps. More yearly and less weekly, yeah. I love how this is the place where they're like, hey, don't you wish you had some smoke bombs? Would have been nice to have those before, right? Well, anyway, you can buy them now. Yeah, half an hour of gameplay, 20 minutes of dying, over and over and over again. That's not too bad. For half a second, I was panicking because I was buffering movement in this cave. The game does give you a Thunder Rob before tunnel armor. That's true, but with the caveat that you only get it if you didn't explore the cave last time you were here. Adafina, thank you very much for the good luck. I was too early. Yeah, so that second encounter I shouldn't have gotten, but there's a manipulation that I screwed up. I was just a little bit too early doing it. So now all of the packs, the groups of enemies that I'm going to fight are advanced 1 in the RNG schedule, but I'm still going to be getting fights on the same squares. Kind of clumsy movement here. Do I get the rune edge so I can sell it? I think the answer might be yes. All right, Moogle, stay out of my way. All right, so we're a minute behind. Oh my gosh, we're a minute behind and I can't move. Not optimal, but this is still a pretty solid foundation to build the run on. Yeah, lots of things that can buy us green splits in the future. Minute and a half behind. Even better. Splits.red is the best place to be? Damn right. Oh yeah, Lazo, I missed that you had asked how long the death part is for 52 game overs. The idea is that you want your save file to be as close to death as possible, so that you minimize that time that you spend. It's rough. That's right, General Kutan is here, as is normal in Final Fantasy VI. Everybody loves General Kutan. Kutan isn't a love-starved twit? That's Mog? Not yet. So if you're still here, Wolf, you also don't have to fight any of these guys. really afraid of a turn 3. Okay, cool. You had to learn the step route for any percent. You don't like the step route in this game? It's rough and unintuitive? I don't feel like the step route is unintuitive in this game. Like, anytime that you're not taking the straight path between point A and point B, it's really clear, to me at least, why you're not taking the straight path. It's not random tiles, that's the best part. You know which tiles are not going to count because it's anywhere that there's a diagonal in the map graphic. Like, you can look at the map graphic and map out which spots are not going to have your threat advance. So, like, I've had to fix my my step route in the past by skipping specific no encounter tiles. Compare that to something like Final Fantasy V, which, like, also eventually became a step route that I learned, and I'm going to have to relearn it. I don't have all of it memorized. Final Fantasy V's step route is a bear. that's real tough, and neither of these step routes are anywhere near as hard as the stuff that, like, Final Fantasy VII does. Final Fantasy VIII? See, I feel like Final Fantasy VIII is harder. You're doing, like, really precise 3D movement. There's no way that's easier, or no way that's there's no way that's easier than, there's no way that what I'm doing is easier than that. There we go. I got it out. Yellsrek, how's it going? You're here just in time for me to go acquire the new magic. Please, everybody, ignore how absolutely terrible that menu was. I promise, I feel an appropriate amount of shame. Okay, and now, Relic, you, remove that. Go, you know what? You can have the thief knife. Anything else? I think that's it. Phoenix Downs. Sweet. Someday I'm not going to walk back into Figaro. Not walking back into Figaro is like not suplexing the train. Disagree. I hope I remembered to buy tents. I think I did. Yeah, I bought 3 of them. I did? Thought so. So I'm about to do a zigzag upright, which I think does exactly the perfect job of demonstrating which tiles are no threat. That style of diagonal is where the no threat tiles are. And the nice thing is, really the step route becomes very simple once you think about it in terms of, with the sole exception of walking past camp cutscene, I'm always maximizing no threat tiles. Are the threat tiles hard-coded into the map with the graphics and collisions? Essentially. They're a property of the tile that's been drawn. The worst step route you know is Final Fantasy VII. Anybody who can do the Final Fantasy step route is a better video game player than I am. I hate this. Yeah, nobody should let the conversation with Nikki cause them to think that Nikki is not genuinely one of the best RPG speedrunners I know. It's okay to not like the step route for Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, Nikki, I'm going to be going back to Final Fantasy 2 and 3 PR at some point. You're destined to get dozens of annoying questions from me while I learn those. You've heard there's a pretty good guide for 3PR out there? Yeah, I've heard that too. It was written by a Keiji Kaguya Nikki, something like that. Need to update your 2 guide since you've been caught up in your platinum pursuit. That makes sense. Walk up, walk up, walk up. In my head, that was 3 steps left and then 2 steps up, which means that I'm going to get 2 encounters. It's not true, but I want it to be. In this segment, I need to use X to change so that I can do an empty blitz. Oh my god. Did I actually accidentally end up with the correct NPC movement? No. Okay, thank God. You once again missed how we got back here? You just go through the same way. You go through to the returner's hideout just like the beginning of the game. Yeah, no. No dying yet. Where is... I do take an intentional game over in Kefka's Tower. I take an intentional game over after the opera. Hopefully no dying before that. Okay, that one's a weird set of no threat. Graveyard Brawl, welcome in. I mean, I'm having fun with the speedrun, so I'd say it's just fine. Yeah, the new route is super spicy, Nikki. In the old route, Gal doesn't get stronger until after Magitech. It's all that matters? Unironically, yes. I missed one of the no threat tiles. Bummer. Imagine getting Magicite? I don't know what that is. Never heard of it. You think Phantom Forest is one of the cooler color schemes in this game? I agree with you. It's just beautiful. Like, I love the way that it's rendered. TT Rock, how's it going? Welcome in. I love this. I interpret this as, like, in-universe Sabin, after everything that's happened, grabs Edgar and is like, I need to show you something. You have to come here. Wanted to show his brother the trainee suplexed. No, he had to show him how much fun it is to jump off a waterfall. Yeah, parked car. Come on, gal. You can leave Gao on the Velt. Like, nothing super weird happens. Gao, come on. I need you to show up, buddy. There we go. Thank you for the good luck, everyone. Yeah, this is where the run gets hard now. Yeah, no buffering, no turbo. Yeah, that's right. NASA. We're going to space. Keynots, how's it going? Thank you for the good luck. These tricks absolutely do not work on Pixel Remaster. Yeah, Pixel Remaster has its own set of tricks that work. But yeah, it's done a lot of bug fixing from the original Super Nintendo version. Even the GBA release has fixed a lot of glitches. I don't know if they fixed the camera glitch, but given that they had to rewrite the engine, to my understanding, I expect they probably have fixed the camera glitch as well. Where am I? Okay. I apparently was there, but it wasn't opening up the thing. Oh, I could have just used this to heal. That's fine. Naughty gamers go to the pot room. Yeah, recentering the camera is slow. It doesn't mess up the trick. It just takes time. Those stairs can send me to space, though. So can NPCs. Running shoes. Wool ring. That was a really bad menu overall. Like, we got there, but not stellar. No, there's no need for the money from the hyper wrist. There's no time to sell it. I was silly for picking it up before. What I really needed was just to memorize that from that doorway, it was 7 steps to the right, 2 steps up, 1 step right, mash A, 1 step left, 2 steps down, and then hold left until I see lock again. Yeah, easy peasy. Have we freed ourselves from the opera? Oh no. No, not at all. Not even a little bit. There's more opera in this speedrun than there's ever been. Watch your step indeed. Nice, Kate. All right, this town is terrifying. If an NPC touches you, the run ends. Two hours and 44 minutes. Yeah, you've got a 4-frame window to not end the run right here. If the clock hits 2 hours, 2 hours and 3 minutes, then the run is probably dead. If it hits 2:03:44, it's definitely dead. But we should optimally be in the door before 2:03. I love how stressful this part of the run gets. This is the last thing before you get to turn off the camera glitch, too. That's the best part. Do I really? No. No, I don't, actually. But I have to say that I do. That's fair. Nope. Messed it up. So from here, tentacles, yes. Right. I was thinking I should have moved Edgar to the back row. And that's true. The time to do that has long since passed. You love how the Emperor becomes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't love that. Don't want him to get hit. One down, that's great. Discard? Come on, discard. It would be very funny if I got a Mirager. Nope. Can the tentacles be slowed? Should be 1 or 2 more ticks. Is top right guy not getting ticks anymore? No, he's getting ticks. They are not immune to slow. Hey, that rules for me. So Edgar can survive 2 hits. Edgar cannot survive a hit in a crit, which is unfortunate. Jerk Tentacle? I mean, this should be a win. Like, Tentacle is very stressful up until only 1 is left. And Tentacle is still slow. We got there. Yeah, I love the fact that Gal just kind of body blocks them, and it makes this guy look backwards. Having Locke and Gal here is breaking your brain a little bit? That's understandable. Perfect. That's exactly where I want to be standing. Yeah, the new magic rules. How's it going, Willow? Relic. You. Ah, there we go. Saban's at the bottom now. Glad to hear it's going okay. Yeah, Jeffy, it's almost a pineapple. We tentacled, now we're back in World of Balance, correct. We've got the Figaro theme. Yep. Yeah, the game doesn't like not having played the cutscene that raises the castle in the World of Ruin. Don't worry, I will make sure that that does get to play. It's just not time yet. That's an interesting question. I wonder. Hey, can I talk to that upper left impresario and trigger this cutscene? If I just run straight in? I wonder. I did fight the train once, that's correct. Can I explain the new tech? Okay, sure. If you leap with Gao, while he is the party leader and he has a camera position set, so he has to have been in, before he leapt, he must have been in a town in the cave. The Crescent Cave is the place that we are currently setting his camera position. So then he leaps as the party leader. You then make it so that when he comes back, he's not the party leader. So you put, in this case, Locke in front. And he joins. Now there are two conflicting camera positions. And the game doesn't handle that well. So using that, you can cause your characters to zip. You can do all sorts of wild stuff. We use that to get Celis into a party of 4, so we end up with a party of 5, which does other sorts of massive break-the-game stuff. And then we also use it to get the Jador door. Using the Jador door, we trigger the opera way earlier than we should have. And we also use the Jador door to fight tentacles early, which is going to let me raise up the castle into the World of Ruin. With the Jador door, I also am going to be able to use a tent on the world map and trigger the cutscene to raise the floating continent. So I'm going to use all of that all put together to set up the exact right situation for me to be able to have the airship glitch in the World of Ruin. And we're using the opera to have a timer running that will trigger a game over so that we can use that to break out of the Kefka fight and win the game. Is this Nirm's fault? Nirm and Eddie. Like, obviously a lot of this is Eddie tech, but Nirm is the person who actually put everything together. Jan Batari, how's it going? You choose to blame Nirm? Understandable. Is it possible to add Celis and Sabin to a party to make a party of 6? I don't see why it would be impossible to do that. I'm not sure that it would benefit you in any way, but I don't see why it would be impossible. Wumbo emote has the same cadence as your leg when it jiggles up and down when you try and focus. Yeah, it's pretty close to how my leg shakes as well. We need a door emote. Yeah, this is earlier than she normally shows up in chat. Hey, Echo, do you happen to be in chat right now? Holy shit, how lucky. How hard would it be to turn the amazing door animation that you made into an emote? And assuming that the answer is feasible, would you message me a price? Might be able to just shove it into Twitch. That's a good point. I'll see if I can. If I do that, I'm going to want to throw you more money than the tip that I threw you as a thank you. Why are we screwing up at the opera? Because I want to trigger a game over. That sounded flippant. I actually do want to trigger a game over. Dorchan just wants to be free? Dorchan is free. What about Timer-kun? Timer-kun also wants to be free. Safety. Yep, you fail the opera 4 times, new game over. The impresario is beside himself, he's so upset. Look, I'm doing my best. I'm very sorry. This is my first opera. Well, it's my 4th opera. You can in fact fail the opera. You can fail the opera so bad that Squaresoft decided that you deserve a game over. You've had this in the background while you figure out spreadsheet formatting for the upcoming exam. Hey, I'm sorry to pull you away from studying. That is absolutely not what I meant to do. Break a leg with the exam. I'm sure you're going to do great. Yeah, pick the wrong line, don't dance, don't run up the stairs. They make you manually throw the flowers in Pixel Remaster? That absolutely would have owned me the first time. I didn't know that the Pixel Remaster makes you throw the flowers. That's so funny. That's like purpose built to ruin anybody who played a lot of the SNES version. That's such a good troll, yeah. That's hilarious. I love that. And he's gone. The invisible NPC spawning there is so funny. That panicked me so bad the last time that I got to this point. Well, it sounds like you have proved that you are capable of applying the acquired knowledge. That's what an exam should be. Does the timer running out count as an opera fail? It sure does. Yeah, because otherwise we wouldn't care about the first 3 failures. All right, do we get lucky? Do we start with Draco already on stage? Nope. But we do get a girl in a pillar. This is where I look to my left and make sure that I am actually recording a local VOD. Good news. The best time to double check? Yeah, right when it matters. Sub 230? That's gonna be tough. Yeah, with current strats, that's a really tall order. Edgar. Edgar. Hey, it's Edgar. Quick, finalize my script for the Final Fantasy VI speedrun video. Gosh, I'm terrified of finishing the script at this point. Hey, it's Edgar. The moment that I start working on it again, there's going to be something new that invalidates everything that I've done so far. I need to work on it again so Eddie comes up with more wild shit. Yeah, that's probably true. So chat, how's it going? You love this so much? I love this so much. Hear those doors opening and closing. What doors? Been putting off working on some schoolwork to watch this. You're a grown-up. I'm not your parent. VODs will exist. If it's a run worth watching, VODs will exist. If it's a moment worth watching and it doesn't PB, clips will exist. Just make sure that you're a grown-up. You don't need me to tell you not to fuck things up. Yeah, that's Strago and Realm in Moogle suits, correct? The Agent Zero, thank you for the no penalty backseat telling me don't fuck it up. There's still the risk of great behemoths. Which is scary. Whoopee. I would have been able to escape. Oh well. Probably don't need the Elastraco split. I keep on forgetting to do it. I need to do it when I get the game over. This is world record? Yeah. Thank you for the congrats. Like, all credit to Nierm and Eddie. Like, they're the ones who found all the tech. Thank you for the GGs, everyone. Thank you for the off GGs. I did okay. Yeah, that's probably about right. Sabin. Yeah, 245's okay. There's tons and tons of time to save here. So yeah, whether it's me or somebody else, this world record is not lasting long. Sub 240 doable? Yeah. Yeah, for sure, sub 240 is doable. Like, there are so many small things that I messed up along the way. Now I'll get one of those records that takes 5 years to beat. Those records are rare. Like, the number of people who've ever had a record like that is in the low 2 digits. At max. I don't actually know the number of people who've held a single record for 5 years. My Wonder Boy record lasted for 2.5, 3, something like that. But it got blown wide open the moment that they found new tech. Yeah, LCC and Dine, absolutely. No, Dine, I don't know. Has Dine had any records that have taken? Like, I haven't known Dine before he started just ruining Final Fantasy VI records. Like, that's how I met him, was he rolled up and said, all of the records now belong to me, thank you. Yeah, it helps when nobody else is running the game actively. That helps a lot for the record to stand for 5 years. But yeah, LCC for sure. I would be shocked if LCC didn't have world records that are still having that clock tick. But yeah, regardless, this is going to be a record that stands for like days, maybe weeks. Nothing more than that, though. Your homie the clown world record stood for 3.5 years until somebody found a way to out of bounds glitch the entire game. That would help somebody in taking away a world record, huh? Am I going to keep at it? Yeah. Yeah, I think I've got, I don't know, maybe a week or two of just Final Fantasy VI. And then after that, I'm going to start splitting between 6 and Final Fantasy V. Because I want to bring back Final Fantasy V and 6 combo speedruns. When do we get Final Fantasy V ZSNES 9X runs? Well, I've got to derust 5 first. The ZSNES 9X run that's going to happen in the middle of this week is going to be Final Fantasy VI for sure. Hey, Carrie, thanks for that. Thanks for that gift sub. I'm not going to let you hide behind anonymity for that one. If you're cursing my PB VOD with that, I'm cursing your name with that. You did no such thing? All right. Well, for the purposes of this VOD, Carrie is innocent. Carrie has said unequivocally that she does not consider Terra, quote, mommy. You know what's great? I could do weird gift subs in here and blame it on Carrie, and I would believe it. Yeah, that's probably true. Carrie has developed a reputation. You're a sweet, innocent, God-fearing woman. not true. OTP, thank you very much for the gift sub to Chuplex, an account which apparently exists. Chuplex has existed for 2 years. I'm making the active choice to believe that my split name is why that account exists. I'm taking credit for it. Whoever you are that registered Chuplex, I'm a fan of you, and I hope that it's because you enjoy speedruns. Desi, thank you so much for the GG and the congrats. Hey everybody, you should be following Nintendesi. He's got one of those Twitch channels that are good. Thank you to whoever dropped the shout out to Desi. No matter how many times you see the ending, you always love the music? Yeah, it's really good. Your favorite bit is that the person who registered the name ZSNES9X registered it 10 years ago. Yeah, that rules. Gumby, thank you very much for gifting the tier 1 sub to CD /. Yo, Jeffy. Thank you very, very much for the 10 tier 1 gift subs. Blogra Blarg, Andemonium, Agranash, Trisha Bunny, Drex, Ella Clover, Undersol, Dr. Goat, Zellyman, and Autumn Plays. Enjoy the badge, enjoy the emotes, enjoy the ad-free viewing. Nevulink, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Hey, a cheer is your first time chat? Welcome in. I hope that you're having fun here. I do this for free. You like how Timer Kun is still there? Yeah. Intercal, thank you very much for the gift sub to General Yeti. Celis is still in the broken sprite sheet dress? Yeah. The game actually, like, overwrites. Oh, hey, it's Kutan. That's new. The game overwrites where her sprite sheet is pointed during the opera and then writes it back. That's why General Kutan the Moogle turns into the sprite of Celis after the opera. But right now, the pointer is still pointing to Maria's sprite. And there's a whole lot of animations that just don't exist on that sprite sheet. Believe you've seen me before via speedrun somewhere, probably GDQs. I've done a bunch of different marathons, but yeah, I feel like GDQ is where most people who have just encountered me somewhere in the wild probably encountered me. Either that or I've been on just about every member of the Pit Cruise channel at one point or another. When you were learning C, you said pointers were the devil. I mean, pointers do a good job of explaining to you how memory addresses work. Like, I'm talking about pointers. It makes the most sense to talk about pointers in this context. Really, it's just a memory address. I am relatively certain that this game never had any C written for it. They have a scripting language. So there's a script language that gets used for all of the events. And then everything else, I believe, was just written in a 5A22 assembly. Hasn't it been a lot of years since I've run something on GDQ? Outside of Hotfix, yeah. The last one that I did was in 2019. If you can load indirectly, you have pointers. Absolutely. Yep. You love this song so much? Yeah, it's a very good song. Bank switching is a form of pointers. That's an interesting assertion. I have to chew on that a little bit. I have not really thought of it in that way. I mean, yeah, you're munging the bus. So sure, yeah, I'm on board with that. Yo, Tokyo Scarab, how's it going? Thank you for the GG. Profness, how's it going? Thank you for the GG as well. Yeah, we got there. This PB is not gonna last. Like, this is gonna be world record for a week tops, I think. Eric's, how's it going? Hey everybody, you should be following Eric's 33. Better speedrunner than me. Chilling and doing some board design while listening to Twitch? Hell yeah. Hey, that one board design stream of yours that I managed to catch was really good. I don't know if I'm just really unlucky in terms of when I'm looking at Twitch. But if you're planning on doing more of those, I think that was a super comfy stream. I really enjoyed it. I assume a lot of it, since you're doing circuit board layout professionally, is not streamable. But for the stuff that is, I really enjoyed it. That's my feedback for you. Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that designing circuit boards falls under NDA. All right, so it's still soft locks here. But now General Kutan is just hanging out. Leftover Felix, yeah, I grew up on Final Fantasy 1 and 4. And obviously I played a lot of 6 as well. So yeah, I love the prologue theme. It's so good. So, Echo, it's actually really funny. There is a really, really sharp divide between RTA JP and Western RTA when it comes to that. Japanese rules say that this does not count as a completion because we don't get to the end. but anything kind of based off of like SDA rules tends to view triggering credits as the thing that that matters. So for speedrun.com, RTA, SDA rules, stuff like that, this is sufficient. For Japanese RTA rules, this would not be. Cool. Glad to have finally finished a run without, like, any major problems. Plenty to fix still. Next one's going to be better.